Welcome to Winter of Wellness 2019, a free online event where you'll learn how to supercharge your whole being, body, mind, and soul with today's top health and wellness experts. Share this powerful program with your friends and family, and come join us on Facebook at The Shift Network. And now your host, Holly Woods.
So welcome, everybody. I'm so glad you're joining us today, and I'm really excited to introduce our special guest today, Holly Tse. Holly is just among my most favorite speakers with Shift Network. She's a faculty here, and it's such a pleasure to have her join us today in the Winter Wellness Summit. So welcome, Holly.
Oh, thank you so much, Holly. First time being interviewed by another Holly.
That's great. So Holly Tse is a speaker, author, podcaster, teacher of vitality and spirituality, and also a dragon spirit guide. She's the founder of Chinese Reflexology.com, the premier website on self-healing with Chinese Reflexology. And she's also the author of the #1 internationally best-selling book, Soul Guidance. Her podcast, The Holly Tse Show, attracts listeners from over 100 countries worldwide and helps people express their brilliance with more ease and flow. And Holly's going to talk to us today about how Chinese reflexology is good for our eyes and our ears, for sight and sound. And I'm so excited to hear this information, Holly. I'm really just so intrigued by what you're going to share. So I guess first off, tell us a little bit about how our reflexology can affect our sight and hearing. What is it we're missing, or what are our blind spots that keep us from living into better sight and hearing?
Sure, I'd be happy to share. One of the best ways for me to share is to tell stories. So I'll let listeners know about how Chinese reflexology made a difference for my own eyesight. So I'm so passionate about sharing about this topic because it was actually vision problems that I had with my own eyesight that led me to following my soul's calling and to listen to my heart and to grow my blog and to, launch a podcast and reach hundreds of thousands of people worldwide. Because if people aren't familiar with my work, they may not know that I used to work in high tech. So I was a high tech worker and I was totally miserable in my job. It wasn't what my heart was calling me to do. And the thing was that I was so, let's just say, stuck in the idea of having to work in the corporate world that I just would not leave my job. And it wasn't until I started experiencing problems with my eyes that finally made me leave. So much of what we see and what we hear is actually linked to other things going on in our life. So for me, what happened was I started to get ocular migraines, which is basically like if someone took a picture with a camera flash and then you see that lingering eye kind of flash going on, that's what would happen to me just spontaneously, and it would last for half an hour and I'd be exhausted afterwards. So I went to go see the eye doctor to find out what was going on. And he told me that, he diagnosed it as ocular migraines, and the triggers were sunlight, fluorescent lighting, and computers, which is basically my high-tech job in Silicon Valley, right? But the thing was, he also told me that I had early-stage macular degeneration, and this is a degenerative, from a Western perspective, considered incurable disease where you start to lose the central vision of your eyes. And so that was finally what prompted me to leave my job, because you see, what I did, and I recognize this, is I saw the connection between my job and my vision, because I would sit in front of my computer every day looking at the screen, and the thoughts in my head were, I can't stand what I'm looking at. I hate looking at the screen. I can't stand looking at the screen. And so what your body does is it hears your thoughts and feelings, and they manifest into physical symptoms. I'm going to talk more about that. So the way, let me just say to people too, in case they're concerned, oh no, does she still have ocular migraine degeneration? No, I don't. I haven't experienced an ocular migraine in years. And I went to after getting that diagnosis, I left my job, I, changed so many things and was massaging my reflexology points and went to see an eye doctor just to get this diagnosis, saying, hey, I got this diagnosis, can you please check my eyes? And he did a thorough exam. And several years after that initial diagnosis, he said, there's nothing wrong with your eyes. Your eyes are perfectly healthy. And not only that, actually, my vision actually improves over the years, especially since I left my job. So I had glasses when I was 11 years old. And now I'm actually seeing more clearly every year, both close up and far away. So like I can, before I couldn't see the food on my plate. That's how strong my prescription was. Now it's all like, oh, look at what I'm eating. Or I can look across the table and see my son's face where I couldn't do that before. And even looking off into the distance, you can see like little houses on the mountaintops and stuff. These are things that are coming into focus because of these shifts I made with how I live my life and how I see myself. So I'm going to share more about that with people listening today. But first, to answer your question, how is this all related to the reflexology? We need to start with qi. Qi is life force energy, and it circulates through your body. And in order to strengthen your eyes and your hearing, it is so important to strengthen and harmonize your qi. This is like this life-enhancing, rejuvenating force that is so essential for your health and vitality. So qi, it needs to flow through your body. So your body has these energy meridians that circulate qi. So it's like the blood vessel system, only this is circulating energy. And for your eyes and ears to be healthy, this qi needs to be flowing smoothly and abundantly through the eyes and ears. So the way to nourish and support the hearing and vision is you need to boost the flow of qi and encourage the flow through the eyes and the ears. So the way Chinese reflexology works is that there are points, reflexology points on your feet that correlate to different parts of your body. So there's like an eye point and there's like an ear point. And when you massage these points on your feet, their points are connected to those energy meridians in the body. So you're actually stimulating the flow of qi and you're helping to strengthen and boost the qi. And then that is a way to support your body, because your body naturally knows how to heal itself. So like if you cut yourself, your body knows what to do. But it needs that qi and blood to be strong and flowing in order to heal itself. So, for example, if the qi is not flowing as it should, think of it like a river. If the river water, then the flow of the river isn't flowing as it should, then there's going to be problems with the ecosystem, both downstream and upstream. Like, for example, if there was a block in the river, then the water is going to overflow at the banks where the block is, and then there's not going to be enough water downstream. So the same thing is going on in the body. So what you want to do is you want this qi to be naturally flowing and smooth and abundant. And the problem is that we do things that affect the flow of qi and blood in our body. So qi helps to produce blood from the Chinese medicine perspective. So it's kind of like yin and yang. In order for blood to be sufficient, qi needs to be sufficient. And then the blood is so important for the eyes and the ears to help nourish them and keep them, well, especially the eyes, keep the eyes and the surrounding muscles supple and flexible. And when there's not enough of this qi and blood flowing there, then there's not enough nutrients. And then that's what leads to the problems with the eyes. And same with the ears. If there's not enough of the qi and blood flowing, then there's not enough for the body to maintain those natural structures. And then there's a gradual weakening in the hearing and with the vision. Or it can be sudden too. It just all kind of depends on what's going on with the qi and blood flow. So it's also important too that you address those underlying emotional roots. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a second part of my presentation. But I want to emphasize here how important it is especially from a Chinese medicine perspective, which is often different than the Western approach to medicine, which is just look at the problem areas. So if you've got a problem with your eyes, just look at the eyes. You've got a problem with hearing, look at the ears and the, structures, the inner ear and stuff like that. But Chinese medicine looks at the body as a whole, because it's not just the eyes or the ears that have a problem. In Chinese medicine, if there's a problem with the eyes and ears, that's actually a symptom showing that there's some sort of imbalance or weakness in the body's organs and energy meridians. So going back to that idea of the river, if there's like a drought, so I live in California, we faced drought for a number of years, if there's not enough water flowing, then the river dries up. So think of that, if there's not enough qi and then there's not enough qi to produce blood, then it's kind of like, quote unquote, this element in your body, well, quote unquote should be the element in your body is quote unquote drying up, sort of. So it's so important then to address the body as a whole. So in Chinese medicine, the kidney is actually the most important organ in Chinese medicine because it influences all the other meridians. It's like a battery for storing your qi, your life force energy. And it's also said that the kidneys open into the ears. So if the kidney is not strong, that's going to affect the hearing. And then because the qi helps produce the blood, then if the qi is weak, the blood production is not going to be sufficient or as robust as it needs to be, and that affects the nourishment of the eyes and ears. So strengthening the kidney is so important as well. And the one thing, though, this is something that people have a lot of control over, is that they often deplete their kidney qi faster than it needs to. So if you think of your kidneys like a battery storing your life force energy, like your cell phone battery, like when you use your cell phone, you can turn it on, use it, and then there's like a natural amount of battery level that's used up as you use your phone day to day. But if you have like all those, download a whole bunch of apps, they're all running in the background, you got the screen on maximum, and you're always, talking on the phone more than the average person, it's going to drain the battery down faster. And the same thing can happen to your kidneys, like draining that life force energy. And what it is that people do is they push themselves too hard. They don't eat well, they don't get enough sleep, they try to get one more thing done, or they oftentimes, people who, especially healers, are very nurturing, they give too much of their energy away to others. They don't know how to say no, and they just go, oh, so-and-so needs me, let me do this one thing for them. And the thing is that then you're kind of draining down your own energy. It's almost like you're borrowing from that energy that you need for the future, for yourself to live. And so it's so important then, one of the most powerful ways to keep your kidney energy, your qi strong, is to learn to say no and to be more self-nurturing. So I want to talk about in my presentation just how to massage points for the eyes, Chinese reflexology points for the eyes and the ears. And then I'll tell people how they can learn more about how, if they want to strengthen their kidney qi, because there are kidney points too. But let's do these eye points and ear points, because this is Chinese reflexology for sight and sound. So Holly, if you'd like, feel free
absolutely.
to join along. So if you just pull up your foot into your lap, kind of like sitting cross-legged.
Okay.
And
should I take a sock off?
Yeah, take off your sock, and we'll start with the left foot first, just so everybody's doing the same thing. And let's start with eye points. So the eye points are going to be on the underside of your second and third toe. So not the big toe, but the toe right next to it, and then that middle toe. And it's going to be below the ball of the toe pads. Okay. And so it'll be that whole area underneath. And it's also going to encompass a little bit of the base of the ball of the foot just underneath those toes. So like if you imagine the letter U superimposed on those two toes, that would be the area. So what you'll want to do is you want to, like say if you got your left foot, put your left fingers supporting behind those two toes, so that when you press on them, they're not just, pushing out into the air. And then you're going to take your right thumb pad and just press onto that area. Let's start with that second toe, so under the toe pad, and then just massage up and down. So people who wear glasses, chances are this is going to be very sensitive. So you're going to just do short little strokes, massaging your way across up and down below the toe pad, and then shift down a little lower on the toe. Especially if you've got long toes, you might have to shift down a couple of times. Only need to do it once. And then just up and down for a few seconds. And then when you get down to that base of the U, you can massage all the way across. And then you can massage starting up and down on the third toe as well, underneath the third toe pad, and massage across there. So anybody who has any eye issues, it's going to be very sensitive there. And the reason it's sensitive is that's actually an indication of either like a qi deficiency or like an energy block related to the eyes. So when there is something physically going on in the area of the body, the corresponding reflexology point is going to be really, really sensitive. And sometimes there might not be anything going on physically, but it may just be at the energetic level, and then it will also show up as a sensitivity. And that's what makes Chinese reflexology so powerful, is because you can catch things at the energy level before they manifest into physical symptoms. So any questions, Holly?
No, I actually felt the energy move as I was doing it. That's just so great.
Yeah. Sometimes people will actually feel like a little tingling sensation in their face or something as they're massaging these points. So what I would recommend is you can massage your eye points for like, say, 30 to 60 seconds twice a week. So you don't even have to do it all as 60 seconds at a time. That can be like a long time to be massaging the area. You could break it up into 15 seconds, 4 times a day, or even just here and there throughout the day, you massage for a few seconds. Now, the reason why I say twice a week is that some people, I find it'll probably be 5% of the people listening to my talk right now who want to just go all out, massage all the time, go, I'm going to, if some massage is good, more massage is better. And I'm here to say, no, it's not. So part of the reason why we have imbalances is how we approach life. So remember how I said the kidney, that self-nurturing, that's about introspection and resting. When you're feeling like this compulsion to do more, that's actually contributing to the problem of the imbalance. So it's good to break that habit, to stop feeling, like you might feel that compulsion, but make yourself not overdo things, because that's what, drains your energy. The other thing too is it is possible to over massage a point. You can irritate the skin on that area of your foot. You could cause calluses to build up, and then that would actually be counterproductive to healing, because it'd be hard to feel your point because you've got a callus there. Or if you irritate the skin, then that's not beneficial as well. So one thing I want to mention too, if people have there's no delicate way of saying this, if you have sweaty feet, you might feel more friction when you massage. So what you can do is put like a little bit of moisturizer or massage oil to reduce the friction when you're massaging a point. Okay, are you ready for that ear point now?
Please.
Okay, so there's actually 2 ear points, but I'm going to cover the one that is most related to hearing. So there's like an ear point that's more like for the outer ear, and then there's an ear point for those inner ear structures for hearing. So the inner ear point is actually located on the other side of the foot, like on the top of the foot, and it's going to be between the pinky toe and I guess you could call it the ring toe. If it was like the ring finger, it'd be the ring toe and the pinky toe. And so right where those 2 toes meet, right at the base, there's it's going to be like a small circle right at the tip of the webbing between those 2 toes. So it's a little bit harder to reach just because it's right there on the edge of the foot. What you can do is you can use your right hand to support the ball of the foot, and then just kind of reach around as best as you can and use the knuckle of the index finger of your left hand to press onto that area, and then you want to press and twist. So you can do that for like, say, we could do that for about 15 seconds right now. So for this point, I would say do 15 to 30 seconds, not 30 to 60, just because it's on the top of the foot and the skin is more sensitive on the top of the foot than on the sole or the bottom of the feet. But you can, again, do this for like 15 to 30 seconds twice a week. So when you're massaging these points, what it does is it helps to send qi and blood to that area of the body. So as you improve the circulation through there, if there's any sort of energy block in the area that can be affecting the hearing or the eyes, then that will help over time to help clear that. So since we did the one side, while I'm talking, everybody switch feet and then pull up your right foot into your lap and then massage again the points. So for the eye point, it's going to be under the second and third toes, beneath the toe pads, and then a little bit of the top of the ball of the foot so that it's like a U, and you just massage up and down. Make sure you've got fingers behind there to support the toes, and then you can use your left thumb pad to massage up and down as you go across the points. And then for the inner ear point, what you're going to do is, again, it's going to be in the tip of the webbing there, small circle, right at the base of the toes where the pinky toe and the ring toe meet. So you can take your left hand, support the ball of the foot, and then take your right index finger knuckle and press into it and press and twist. So kind of like you're, wiggling like a loose doorknob or something like that. So that's how you can get more qi and blood flowing to the eyes and the ears. And when there's an increase in blood, it helps also to, flush toxins out of the area and also send more oxygen. We all know how important oxygen is to the body for healing. So now I did mention earlier I was going to talk about the emotions a little bit more. So this is really, really important. It's not just about massaging those points to increase the qi and blood flow through the eyes and ears. And it's not just about balancing the body's organs and meridians as a whole and strengthening the kidney. There's a very important component, which is the mental and emotional roots. So as I mentioned before, for me, I was staring at my computer thinking all the time, I hate what I'm looking at. So see, the thing is that different people can have different, or they can have even the same issues going on with their organs in terms of qi and blood flow, but how it shows up in each person is different depending on the person. So how is it that, somebody could have like a kidney qi deficiency and another person could have a kidney qi deficiency, and for one person that shows up as hearing loss and the other person doesn't have hearing loss? Now, why does that happen? So it happens because of what I refer to as the Achilles heel area in the body. So this Achilles heel develops as a result of our thoughts and feelings. So wherever you hold pain or negative emotions, guilt, shame, grief, anger, wherever that's being directed in your body. So for me, it was my eyes, a lot of frustration, resentment, anger, boredom, all of my eyes, just I can't stand what I'm looking at. And that actually creates tension in that area of the body. So another example, let's say somebody, was perhaps raped, then they may feel a lot of shame in their reproductive area, and then that creates tension in that area of the body. So what happens though is over time, this tension affects the flow of qi through that area of the body. And then it's kind of like throwing debris into that river, over time, a few twigs here and there, no problem. But if you've been doing this for years, so I was working for years not following my heart's calling. So every job there was a degree of me looking at something going, man, I hate this, right? So all of that then affected the qi flowing through that area. And then over time, then that makes that area more susceptible when we have like an imbalance with our organs and meridians, because then if there's not enough qi or blood, then the area hit first is going to be that Achilles heel area. So it's so important then to uncover these thoughts and feelings. So this is something for people to ponder. I want to leave people with these questions. So if you have problems with your vision, or if you need glasses, or if you're experiencing like hearing loss or even like tinnitus, like that ringing in the ear, it's important to look at in your life, when did you start experiencing it? And then just prior to that, was there something going on in your life that you did not want to see or you did not want to hear? So for me, it was like, I didn't want to see my job. And on other examples I can think of, like, for example, somebody who perhaps started wearing glasses as a child, maybe they had a lot of conflict in their family. Maybe their parents were fighting a lot and they didn't want to see that. So over time, what happens is, child wanting to hide away, not see this, it's going to affect the flow of chi through the eyes. And then that could be why they need to wear glasses at a very young age. Or another example I can think of, like when people are older, say middle age, and they start experiencing premature hearing loss, maybe they are having like, questioning their relationship with their spouse. And perhaps their spouse is very judgmental or critical. So then that's stuff that they don't want to hear. They don't want to hear their spouse always criticizing them. And then another one, this is very common too, is people don't listen to their inner guidance. So you tune that out, guess what? You're telling your body, I'm not going to listen to this. I'm not going to listen to this. Your body's going to find a way to listen to your dominant thought, which is, okay, you don't want to hear it? Well, we'll find a way to show you that you're not hearing. And so that could lead to like tinnitus. So it's so important that we address those emotional blind spots that we often don't think to look at, because we're used to just looking at the physical body part. But it's so important to address the emotional roots, because that affects the flow of the chi and the blood through that area.
So Holly, I have a question, if it's okay to interject just a question here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what I hear you saying is that we both need to do the reflexology sites and also address whatever, beliefs we have about life that would cause the constriction that would lead to the loss of blood flow. Is there any age or any duration of a problem, either in ears or eyes, at which we kind of have to just throw our hands up and say, well, it's too late? Or, is this even into later life, if you've gone through with hearing or vision loss, that you could make some improvements?
I can't say for every person, that this is the absolute blanket truth.
Uh-huh.
What I know is the way I see the reflexology, it's like exercise and improving your diet.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I see it, like, everybody benefits when they eat better, when they get enough rest, when they exercise. So think of this like as another tool in your toolbox to help your body heal. So because there's so much of that emotional component, you can do like all the reflexology in the world, eat, perfectly, do all the exercise. But if you don't dislodge, that belief of something you don't want to hear, if you don't start letting that go, it's much more difficult for the body to heal. Like I have seen people see improvements, but where I see people have the greatest improvement is when they address those emotional and mental roots. And that's one of the reasons why I created my podcast, is because people would often ask me through my Chinese reflexology blog, they'd be like, well, okay, you talk so much about releasing this negative energy, this negative emotions, but how do I do it, right? And so I created the podcast to help people get in touch with their inner guidance, because when you listen to that, then it's like you're listening to your body too, because your body has so many messages for you, but we get so stuck in our head that oftentimes we can't hear it. And same with the inner guidance too. There's so much chatter going on in the head that we don't hear our inner guidance. But this podcast is designed to help people get out of their heads and really hear their own inner guidance, what I call dragon spirit. So dragon spirit's not like this entity outside of yourself. It's like your voice within that craves growth and exploration and adventure. And it also, it's your highest guidance that has the answers that you're seeking. So it's so important to hear that. And the overall, purpose of my podcast is to encourage people to express their brilliance, because when you see yourself for who you are, your brilliance, then you are, it's like you're immune to the criticisms and judgments, or you can bounce back from it more quickly. And then you start to hear your own inner guidance. You follow your passion. Like, this is, the journey that I've followed. And when you do that, you make a difference in the world. You make the world a better place, but you're also improving your own world and your own life and your own health and vitality. Since I started following my passion, if I compare how I am now to when I was working in high tech, it's like night and day. And it's just so much more rewarding for me to be blogging and speaking and sharing this information and podcasting than it was for me, when I was working on corporate websites and, here's another car website. So everybody has that within them, and the podcast is to help, bring that out of you.
So what you're suggesting, I think, is that, not only does the reflexology support us health-wise and return of sort of essential bodily functions, but it also can shift our, the trajectory of our lives, and our purpose and living in alignment with who we really are.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, if our thoughts and feelings can affect our chi, which can then affect our body, it can also work the other way around, where as you start massaging points, it helps, clear the energy through areas of the body, which if you've held stuck energy, stuck emotions there, it can help start, opening that up. So I've seen, when I teach online courses, I've seen students who have lots of blocks in their throat. They start massaging the throat point and it starts to, open up. And then, before they were always, keeping quiet, not saying anything. And then suddenly they start speaking up and expressing their opinions. And I had one student who was actually, she was so shy. And then she started teaching a workshop in her local neighborhood. So there's so much power. Everything is so interconnected. So it's not just, not just energy, not just massage the points for the eyes and the ears, or not just balance the chi for the whole body. It's how everything integrates together, which is what is really, really powerful.
So powerful. I'm so appreciative of this information today, Holly. It's been so fascinating and I guess hopeful. I'm feeling a lot of hope about how we can make some, take some very small, short, concise actions and have a big effect in our lives. So that's great. And so what additional resources would you recommend for our listeners to learn more about all of this and what we talked about today?
Yeah, sure. I would recommend going to my website, which is www.chinesefoot.reflexology.com, because there are dozens and dozens of articles of different point combinations, things you can do to, points you can massage for things like, headaches, knee pain, preventing a cold. And there are also a lot of articles about habits you can do to improve your eyesight. There's more about, the mental and emotional roots of the eyes, issues with the eyes. There's tons and tons of articles, unlike a lot of people's websites where it's sort of just, here's a promo for my book or whatever.
Right.
My site is this really vast resource. That's why it gets hundreds of thousands of visitors a year from all over the world. I also have my book, Soul Guidance, which is spelled S-O-L-E, play on words, right? Which talks about the, body's primary organs and meridians from a Chinese medicine perspective, and how you can get started massaging your reflexology points at home. And my podcast too, which is so important for getting to those underlying emotional roots, which I have a podcast website, which is www.hollyc.com, so HOLLYTSE. And you can also find the podcast, which is released, a new episode is released every week, every Monday morning on iTunes, and also on, if you look up the Apple podcast app. And one thing I want to mention too about my website. So I was talking about the kidney point and how important that point is. If you go to my website, I have a free gift. It's a free mini course that people can sign up for. And it goes over a whole bunch of, this Chinese reflexology theory, how you can apply it to help improve your health and vitality. And you can download free Chinese reflexology foot charts so you can see what different points on your feet, where it correlates to different areas of your body. So if you've got like a sore point on one part of your foot, you can go, oh, look at that. That's where, the spleen point is. And also in these mini lessons, I have a lesson that is all about the kidneys. So that's where people can learn more about how to massage and this point and, boost their kidney chi and recharge their kidney batteries.
That's so great, Holly. It's a problem in our Western culture, the efforting and the way we work. So powerful to keep our kidney tuned up and ready for whatever comes next. I appreciate that. So thank you so much, Holly. I really appreciate everything you've shared with us today. I really love the fact that you are so generous with your content and really helping to heal all of us, the planet, as we move into this next phase and boost our energy and feel better for health and longevity. So any last words of wisdom you want to share with the listeners?
What's coming to me is just to share, as you were talking about, doing something simple and approachable. It's a quote from the Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu, which is, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." So whatever, you're facing, it's not about, suddenly you got to go, oh my gosh, I got to go from A to B. You got to take the step, one step forward. Just pay attention to that one step, the one in front of you, and then the next one in front of you. And you'll find as long as you're consistently stepping, sometimes you take 2 steps back, that's okay. But as long as you're always consistently taking those steps, that's what makes the huge difference. I mean, that's how I grew my blog so big. It just started in my kitchen table, but it was just one step, and it all adds up and makes a tremendous difference.
And we all now have a couple of very small practices to do that. So thank you, Holly. Great to speak with you today. Thanks for being with us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
You take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining Winter of Wellness 2019, brought to you by the Shift Network. To learn more, visit winterofwellness.com. To learn more about our global programs to support you in waking up in all the areas of your life and taking inspired action, visit theshiftnetwork.com. Thank you again for joining us and for sharing this empowering path of whole being wellness with your friends and family.